We got fall Ethan.
That's right. I fucking rock a turtleneck.
You look sharp. You look sharp. No, I like it. You look like a teacher or a university professor.
Thank you.
No,
Yeah.
Ethan is like my wife, Toddy, and my sister-in-law, Kayla. They're always chilly. They're always wearing long sleeves, blankets.
You lose a lot of heat in the neck. That's a very specific reference. Jeremy will get it.
Shout out to brother Jeremy.
Yep.
You know who doesn't?
That's all right. Have you, if you had listened to me, Matt, all the times I told you to watch Letterkenny?
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, Kyle, you have watched Letterkenny.
Yeah.
Do you remember this now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so good.
Maybe I did watch Letterkenny and decided not to wear a turtleneck. Maybe I wanted to wear a shirt for you instead.
I'm just saying the reference of you lose a lot of heat in the turtle. You lose a lot of heat in the neck. That line specifically is a Letterkenny reference.
So good.
Yeah. So
I was just asking Toddy the other day. I was like, I wonder if they're coming back because they usually come back like either around Thanksgiving or Christmas for.
Oh yeah, I feel like I haven't seen an announcement. That's a good question.
I don't know. All I know is I missed them touring live in. They were either in Raleigh or Charlotte when we were in Mexico in April.
I think they like sell those out really quickly.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, they're hilarious. So.
Yeah, so good. Did you watch Shorzy? Did we talk about that?
Toddy did when she got COVID.
Okay, Shorzy was awesome too.
Yeah. I haven't gotten to it yet. Maybe I will. My upcoming paternity leave.
Oh yeah, right. Holy shit, that's coming up really soon.
About 6 weeks.
7 weeks. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, I feel so bad.
What do you feel bad about? Matt, you're wearing a great shirt.
So I said earlier, I wore a shirt especially for you.
Oh, what, you guys like put a bet on it?
Here, pointing the camera down.
Oh, I saw it. I saw it a couple minutes ago. We were just in the middle of a conversation, so I didn't acknowledge it yet.
Did you notice?
Matt's sitting there like Stella does, like when she's like, "Dada, look at me!"
Like, look at me, pay attention to me.
Well,
that was great, Matt. That was so good.
Speaking of trampled, shout out to hopeful future friend of the podcast, Dave Simonet, on vocal rest. You're lucky, Ethan. You saw him before he went down.
I know. Yep, got lucky.
Did he sound any different?
I thought he sounded fine. There might have been a hint of fatigue, but I thought he mostly sounded fine. You know, he's not the most polished singer in the first place, which is, you know, partially the point. So it wasn't like he was, you know, it wasn't like his voice was dropping out or rasping or anything like that when we saw him. But I feel like I might have thought, I'm trying to remember what my thought process was if I noticed any sort of fatigue, but.
No, I think the only thing I thought, maybe a song or two, he sounded a little breathy.
A little breathy. Yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking of.
Like, I bet his voice is bad. Just
yeah.
So like nothing I noticed.
Yeah. So, yeah, we both. So for everybody, Matt and I saw Trampled on consecutive nights last week. Matt saw him on Saturday. I saw him on Sunday, in Philadelphia and Burlington, respectively, which was awesome.
Yeah, I saw him at the Fillmore in Philly with a new favorite of mine. Thank you to Ethan, Amigo the Devil. And that was a lot of fun. Amigo did a really good job. I like seeing him with his full band.
That was
Amigo
awesome.
also was kind of funny too. I don't know if it did it in your set, Ethan, but in his second or third song, he stopped and just kept strumming his chords, and then he like snuck up to the microphone and was like, "If I ever stop like that, it's either because I'm hiccuping or I've got heartburn." So maybe 3 songs later, he did it again, and he just went, "Hiccups."
He did not do that, but that doesn't surprise me. He's super funny, and he's like pretty honest and sort of like vulnerable kind of on stage. Like he's very open on stage, and yeah, super funny. So yeah, it's awesome.
We say we can sing about bad stuff, but still be good people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a good show.
Yeah. Nice.
I was secretly hoping he'd play his cover of Before He Cheats, though, but he didn't.
Yeah. I think with an opener, like doing shorter sets like this, they want to do, I might be wrong, I'm sure there's some exceptions, but I think generally, if they've got 45 minutes to play, an opener is going to want to do like all their shit. They want to,
I think he did only
introduce the
7 or 8
crowd.
songs.
Yeah.
Which
45 minutes goes by quick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Still awesome to see him, though.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know when my next concert is. It might be a little while, or maybe 2 weeks from now. We'll see. I might see a band called the Clarks. We'll see.
The who? The Clerks?
The Clarks.
Oh, the Clarks.
They're like a like think of like a regional flavor or like a regional potato chip. Like, the Clarks are to Pittsburgh as like Hoffman's is to Syracuse. Like everybody in Pittsburgh loves them. And they go nuts for him. I went and I've seen him in Pittsburgh twice at like an outdoor amphitheater, and the place was sold out. So they in Pittsburgh they sell out a 30,000 seat outdoor amphitheater, and then they go to Cleveland and they play the Grok Shop.
Holy shit!
Oh man, like I could touch Scott right now. He's right here. Oh shit! Like. So, but still, they sell at the Grok Shop too. It's not like it's tiny compared to what they have in Cleveland or in Pittsburgh. So, they're playing in Hershey. I just don't know if I want to drive an hour to see them or not. But it's been a while, and they've got nice, unapologetically, friendly pop rock type stuff that's like with a Pittsburgh slant, and it's actually kind of fun.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah, nice. What are we drinking tonight?
Colin, you start.
Okay, Matthew. Brother Tim hooked me up with Sycamore Rising Hope. It is a white peach hazy IPA, 6.5 alc. I was telling Matt before you hopped on, Ethan, like, I don't know if I've ever had a hazy that is this fruity, and I'm not saying it is a bad thing, it's just different, but it's good. I like it. It's Matt pointed out it's a collab benefiting pediatric cancer. So
that's cool.
That's a nice little bonus.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Ethan,
Matthew?
what's in your mug?
No. Just wine. I wasn't in the mood for beer, and I don't have any super nice beers at the moment. Just
he's in his wine turtleneck.
Yeah, that's right. Drinking wine, sitting in my turtleneck. The fireplace is right over here behind me. After this,
Yo, I have an update on our conversation from last week after Matt goes. So remind me.
Okay.
Fireplace centric updates. I've got a beer called Due North from Vitamin C Brewing. C spelled SEA. They're outside of Boston. They're a brewery I've wanted to go to for a long time. They're kind of up and coming in the hazy IPA game, although 2 years delayed because of COVID. I mean, they've been around for a little while, but it's pretty good. I'd say nothing like a Treehouse, but it's solid.
Okay.
3 of their beers showed up at our at my local store today, so I stopped by and picked them up on my way home. And this is only 2 weeks old, so I'll say that's pretty good to get all the way down from Boston to Philly. So I'm happy to give them a try, and I'd say this is slightly above average. I'll take it.
Yeah. So what would you like on Untapped? What's that mean? Like 3.5? A 4? Oh, okay. That's solid. Nice. And Kyle, what you remembered something?
Yeah. So in general, we got a lot of feedback last week about our episode. A friend of the podcast, Evan Conley, texted me about something, Ethan, that you said that I don't even remember the context, but he said you were an idiot. And I said, yeah, of course.
Well, what the fuck is the context? What did I say?
I don't remember. Anyway, Toddy is definitely all in to sit studio side for the upcoming fireside chat that we're gonna have with our whatever we end up doing. So definitely invite anyone that you two want to that event. before I get to the one recommendation that we got today, I was interviewing somebody for a position, and I always like one of the final questions I always ask is just like, what are you passionate about outside of work? Like, just try to get to know them a little bit more. And I truly want to know, like, what are you passionate about? Like, not just, I like to, I don't know. I want to know passion versus enjoyment. And this particular woman answered the question correctly by talking about wine. She's certified in wine and different things like that. And so I told her, I was like, hey, I have this little silly podcast. And just last week we were talking about potentially switching it up. We usually drink beer, but we were thinking about doing either wine or liquor. And she's like, yeah, there's a lot of really good red wine options. I can send you some things. So we have a certified wine person. I don't know what the actual title is.
Sommelier. Yeah.
Yeah. Who, if we need recommendations, I can potentially reach back out to this person to get.
Great.
Nice.
The one recommendation though that we got, let me pull it up here. It came from friend of the podcast, Lorraine Pascarella. She said that we should do bourbon barreled red wine, kind of combining what we were talking about in terms of doing a red wine maybe, and then we were talking about bourbon. We would do that. So I would have to look up.
There's some out there. There's a couple bigger brands and a couple smaller brands that do it. It's a good suggestion.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah. Nice.
I got some listener feedback as well. I was told I was too negative last week. That if you guys said something was green, I would say it was blue.
You were too negative, really?
Or very disagreeable, maybe.
He definitely was disagreeable. I was listening back to the podcast. He was poking the bear the entire episode.
Well, the valid dick. That's where the dick comes from, invalid dick.
I'm the straw that stirs the drink.
Okay, Reggie.
Well, it was October.
I got some feedback too from Jeremy, and the feedback was that me and Matt are too loud.
Oh, okay. Well, Jeremy, I can do that. I can adjust the microphone down a little bit.
I can't adjust. I'm just going to be yelling all the time.
Yeah, you can't adjust.
I can't control it. No. I can't. But then it'll be too soft. He gave me shit about being too soft a few weeks ago. Now I'm too loud. Pick a fucking lane. What is this?
I mean, for him to say we're too loud, he is the front man for a metal band.
That's true.
So we must be really loud.
We must be really loud. Yeah.
Like on a serious note, does he wear ear protection? Jeremy, do you wear ear protection?
I don't think that he does. It's probably
tinnitus.
He probably should. So
I mean,
he hasn't.
On the other side with just the monitor, maybe it's not too loud. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think ear stuff has started getting to him. When I was his age, it hadn't, but it's starting to get to me now. So chances are, if he has not been using ear protection on any of these shows, that it will, the ears will, there will be issues down the line. For me, it's thankfully it's only very occasionally. It's this really weird thing. I don't think I told you guys about it. The best way I can describe it is like hearing double. So like what I'll hear is, and it usually is just in one ear, and it lasts for like a few minutes and then it's done. But if you're speaking, I'll hear your voice at like one pitch, and I'll also hear it at just a slightly different pitch. Really, really close, but not quite enough where it sounds like really grating. Or if I listen to music, it's like imagine I'm listening to a note, a G. I hear the G, but I also hear like a G sharp, right? A note that's just a half step away. For those who don't know, that's really close and really ugly sounding if you play them together. And it's like it's not painful in terms of actual pain, but it's like super, super annoying and frustrating. And that has started to happen occasionally. So the moral of the story for people is, yes, be smart about ear protection. I definitely was not. And I don't know if Jeremy is. It's a good question.
Well, and to loop back, I did post up in my favorite spot at the Trampled Show, which was right to the left of the sound booth. Mm-hmm. And I will say it was excellent. It sounded great.
Yeah, that's pretty much where we were.
Not nearly as good as Red Rocks, but it sounded great.
Yeah. Nice. Mm-hmm. Sweet. Yeah, we got a lot of feedback, huh?
People love us.
People are still listening.
That's right. We have like 7 listeners, but they are very loyal and devoted and consistent. So
Hey, there's something to be said about that.
I know there really is. No, I'm actually not even mocking. It's very
Let's get
nice.
these listeners on. Devin,
Yeah, if they want to,
Lorraine.
yeah. So yeah, whoever.
Lorraine, you got those kids out there, the kiddo thing. But get on here. Get on here. Bring them on. Bring them all on. Get Lou on here too.
A family episode. A G-rated episode of the podcast. Then we would lose all of our listeners, I think.
I come for the swearing.
Yeah,
that's why.
Exactly.
Swearing in the Ethan rants.
Yep. So what else we got on the docket tonight? Free agency?
Whatever you guys want to talk about.
What has been going? I mean,
can one of you, I don't know if either one of you have just had the time to kind of digest what's happened since election day yesterday. I kind of know some of the things, and there's still some things that need to happen. There's going to be a pretty important runoff in Georgia, and things like that. But it seems like it wasn't a crazy red wave like the MAGA people were predicting.
I was thinking that a few months ago. I was certain. Yeah. So I think, we'll continue and then I'll comment.
Yeah, I think there's Lauren Boebert, who is probably the worst of the Trump supporters out there. As of last check,
she's still losing.
It was when I saw it. It was only by like 7. Yeah.
Yeah, 62 votes or something like
so
that.
So it's crazy close.
Percent of the voting is in, and
but it could go either way.
According to reports, the remaining votes favor Frisch. It don't favor Boebert, but
it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, that's a big one. Carrie Lake is also still losing the governor race in Arizona, but that's only got like 67% of the voting in.
Okay.
So that one's going to take a little while, I think. We lost Sherry Beasley lost to fucking Ted Budd in North Carolina here. And I actually saw something really interesting, even though the woman who replaced Cuomo, I can't remember what her name is, as governor in New York.
Kathy Hochul.
Apparently Cuomo, the people he had brought on or endorsed like in the past or whatever, they all lost. And so there was a big Republican flip in the state of New York, like in that particular part of the state, I think, like whatever they call the city in Long Island part of the state. And apparently he did like some shitty job with the districting stuff when he was in office, and that fucked over Democrats this election. So that was kind of interesting to read. And not that I'm one of these people that's just like vote blue down the line or whatever, but it's Michigan flipped. They have a all Democratic for the first time since like 1983 or something.
Wow.
So definitely some upsets and some crazy things that happened. Beto got beat again in Texas.
Beto,
yeah, Beto in Texas.
I'm gonna start calling him Beto now.
Yeah, Beto O'Rourke.
Yeah, and DeSantis won pretty big in Florida, which kind of begs the question: is he the legitimate front runner for the Republican Party in 2024 for president? Especially if they want to pull away from the MAGA peeps.
No. Oh, he's
that's the thing.
MAGA disciple.
He's like the prodigal son. But did you guys see Trump made a comment at one of his rallies about how he doesn't think DeSantis runs, and if DeSantis runs, Trump was saying that he thinks it would not be good for him, and that Trump would say some things that are probably not very flattering about him, and then Trump also said, "I know him better than anybody, probably except for his wife, who basically runs his campaign." So
Is that a bad
classic,
thing?
classic. I just the fact that he's like, "Oh, I know him better than anybody." Like, do you
Yeah.
think that they have had more than like 10 conversations in their entire fucking lives? Like,
I don't know. I didn't. I thought they were. I thought they did not like each other. I don't know why I thought that, but
They don't like each other now because Trump sees him as a threat.
yeah.
okay. So what I had thought was accurate then. Okay, somewhat accurate, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, that's what people are talking about. They're thinking that there's going to be a big showdown between those two in 2024. So we'll see.
And Biden actually had a compressor today, and he said that the final decision hasn't been made yet. They're leaning toward him running again, but that final decision will come early next year.
Do we really want like an 82-year-old starting a new term as a fucking president?
I'm not here to say yes or no to all that. I'm just giving the news to the people.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, who else?
Elizabeth Warren.
She's old too.
Yeah, but at least she's not fucking 82, and she's like very vigorously active in the Senate and has been for her whole Senate career.
She's hip with the youths.
Too liberal.
She's hip with the youths. She might be, Kyle. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. I have no clue.
At least on the conservative side, I think if this election taught us anything, is that like those extremists, they get pretty loud and they can do some scary things, but for the overwhelming majority, they wanted somebody a little bit more moderate. Even on that conservative side. Which was at least surprising to me, because I just, and this is just me being ignorant, I guess, I just assume every Republican is a MAGA, and like MAGA is still kind of a smaller, sector of Americans, obviously, but there are good Republicans out there, just like there are good Democrats and bad Democrats and too extreme of Democrats, and
yeah. Well, it'll be interesting what you're talking about, in terms of this moderate, centrist, all that, because in 2024, I mean, I don't actually know what the numbers are. It would be interesting to look this up. But I mean, every election we go through for the rest of our lives, or at least for the next couple decades, the proportion of the voting bloc is going to be changing significantly. Like millennials and Gen Z are going to become the most populous generation. Baby boomers are going to die out, right? And what we are seeing, at least from this election, AOC actually posted about it. I think it was AOC where I saw it. Like millennials and Gen Z were voting like 63% Democrat, like 36% Republican. So if that continues when they become the dominant voting bloc, then, some of like, say, Elizabeth Warren's positions that maybe some people would find as too liberal, maybe that doesn't matter anymore if there's enough millennials and Gen Z people voting and showing up. So I don't know. I have no idea, right? It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. I was even that's a really good point. I was talking to Toddy this morning, and I was like, I mean, just the white population is going to keep declining.
That too. Yeah, absolutely.
As the years go on. So I think there will be pretty significant changes if we're fortunate, all three of us to live a long and healthy life. We'll see some changes just based on some of those demographics that you mentioned, Ethan.
Yeah.
Makes me want to channel my inner South Park. For those of you who have seen their most recent couple of seasons, the whites have been here all the time. Like, the whites are still here. Great political commentary on white people. As always done with South Park, sometimes deftly with a nice light touch, sometimes with a sledgehammer.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of times with a sledgehammer. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yep. Well, that was a good rundown, Cal.
Oh, and Matt, I am so glad your state pulled out the right Senate choice and sent Dr. Oz back to New Jersey
and governor.
I wasn't too concerned about that. Actually, even when he pulled up close, just based on what I'd been seeing and hearing here.
Okay.
you know, yeah, and mainly it's been attack ads. But I mean, if you guys get a chance, watch the Fetterman campaign ad with Dr. Nick, comparing Dr. Nick to Dr. Oz, Dr. Nick from The Simpsons. It is probably one of the best political. It is the best political ad I've ever seen.
Oh my God. Okay. Definitely have to watch that.
Yeah.
And I mean, Fetterman's campaign did a very good job, I think, both trying to connect. I mean, his whole thing was every county, every vote. So he was trying to make it to everywhere in the state, but also really, I mean, Oz ran a terrible campaign, and every time he fucked up, Fetterman seemed to have something ready to go right away, whether it was the crudité stuff, whether it was, you know, Dr. Oz saying in an interview that Fetterman's campaign is giving the middle finger to the man, and like within like 5 minutes, Fetterman had that up as his new slogan, like giving the middle finger to the man. Like you're not supposed to give your opponent these catchphrases. So you got to see the closer and closer we got to the election, the more and more junk spam text messages I got that were trying to dissuade me from voting for Fetterman, which sorry, I had already voted. And number two, the what was kind of alarming to me is the tone of a lot of the ads you'd see around here, whether it was on YouTube or on TV, but like, you know, Fetterman helping murderers murder again. Like,
Oh yeah.
Jesus
and just
Christ.
showing stock footage of guys with, you know, Uzis shooting up a street. Like,
Yep.
wow. Like that's what you're going to devolve to.
Yeah. Holy fuck. It's
That was
scary.
Ted Budd's approach too.
Really?
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, that's why I don't even know how far to the right Ted Budd actually sits. But like when you see those type of things, that's just what makes me always think that every Republican is as extreme as MAGA, is because like all they do is talk about murder and voter trying to take away voter rights and all these like terrible things like abortion, and
Yeah.
I just don't get it. But
I mean, all I can say is look at the FBI violent crime statistics for the past 50 years. With the exception of a couple of the last couple years where we see a small uptick. I mean, it's been a trend down since the 70s. Like, you're safer in this country than you ever, like boomers, you're safer in this country than you've been since you've been alive. Yes,
but the boomers want the FBI abolished.
Yeah. Well,
FBI lied to us.
Yes, there needs to be improvements on bail reform, but no, we're not letting murderers out of jail so they can murder again.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and I try and be in tune with it. I've got family in law enforcement in New York State, and I can sympathize. I try and empathize with what he feels, what they feel, and there are instances where you look at it and go, "What the hell are you thinking?" The especially with the New York State version of bail reform. I feel like it was a poorly executed attempt at bail reform, and that's going to unfortunately set back that movement for quite a while in the state. And for those of you who, I guess if you really want to get some more information on bail reform, watch John Oliver did 2 segments on it. But the gist is a lot of times you have people either sitting in jail because they can't afford cash bail or pleading guilty to crimes that they're not actually guilty of just so they can get out of jail on time served. And that's a miscarriage of justice. You shouldn't be convicted of a crime, or pleading guilty to a crime just because you can't afford cash bail and you need to get out. And for a lot of cases, this is people with families or people who are, living right on the edge of, financial solvency and missing a day because they sit in jail. It's going to cost them their job. It's going to cost them, a critical facet of their life, and to someone who can't afford to lose a day's wages or to lose a day to lose their job. So you got these people that are faced with the choice of, well, I can plead guilty, get that felony on my record, but go home today, or I can sit in jail and hopefully try and get justice for myself. And there's some pretty severe miscarriages of justice out there of people waiting. The famous story is of a young teenager who sat in Rikers for 3 or 4 years over stealing a backpack that it was not even him. And he sat in Rikers for 4 years and he couldn't get justice, and it screwed him up. And tragically, John Oliver goes over it because they brought it up again recently on another episode. He killed himself.
I read about that.
And you look at that and you go, where's the justice there? It's over a backpack that he was wrongly accused of. He was not anywhere near where this crime took place, but he was arrested for it, thrown in jail, and then it took forever for him to actually get to even his trial. And he was, refusing to plead guilty to that theft.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just cap off the politics thing by saying, no matter what happens in this Boebert race, the next time somebody says to you, my vote doesn't matter, show them the razor thin margin that one of them wins by. So whether you're a supporter of Boebert or not, the people of Colorado came out to vote, and somebody is going to win by maybe hundreds of votes. And like that makes a difference, a significant difference. So I don't want to ever hear again about how my vote doesn't matter, blah, blah, blah. Like, figure it out, people. It's 2022. Like,
figure it out. Another letter, Kenny. Yeah.
Yeah. Figure
it out. That's what I said. Figure it out.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
As someone who's got a friend
right.
who voted in that district, fuck yeah.
Do you really, Matt? You know somebody in that district?
Yeah, I've got a good friend who lives in Vail.
No shit. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
I should bring them on the podcast too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good call though, Kyle. Yeah, I like it.
98% of the vote in, and it is still 50-50, but that like 60 something vote lead right now.
Yeah. Pretty nuts.
Crazy.
Yep.
So
should we talk about something lighthearted before we go?
Well, I was gonna ask Matt about this certain football team.
Oh.
Yep. Burn it to the ground.
I only watched like the end of the game because they kept putting it on Red Zone, and that's what Tim had on. I mean, Rodgers just looks like he's throwing a dart and he's like blindfolded. Like, it still comes out of his hand nice. He still throws the ball really well, but he's throwing into like triple coverage every single time. And I'm like, is it the receivers? Are they running bad routes, or like what is going on? Because it looks completely different than like what Brady seems to be going through. Like, Brady seems to actually be breaking down, whereas like Rodgers just either is making bad decisions or just is not on the same page with his receivers.
Well, wait. That. So Brady's got one of the best receiving corps in the league, even with the injuries. So I will say that I think makes a difference. The only first round pick Aaron Rodgers run a touchdown to is Mercedes Lewis, because he never gets the offensive assets he needs. So he's.
But is that because they're paying Rodgers like 3/4 of the salary cap?
Not 3/4 of the salary cap, but I mean that's just this year. I'm talking throughout his whole career. That's
his whole career. He's only.
Yeah, he has like 3 touchdowns passes to a number 1 pick,
to a first round
Mercedes
pick.
Lewis, and he got Mercedes Lewis when Mercedes was like 36.
So you're saying Brian Cashman should be the GM of the Green Bay Packers?
I'm saying Brian Gutenkunst, or whatever his name is starting to look like he's making some fairly questionable decisions.
Is his first name actually Brian?
Yeah, his name's Brian.
Oh, funny.
No, I honestly I haven't watched any. Like, the last time I watched part of a Packers game was the Tampa Bay game. Like, it's just, yeah.
He's off the bandwagon.
Yeah.
You join the Giants bandwagon?
No.
The Bills bandwagon?
Nah.
The Jets beat the Bills last week.
That's insane. I'm going all in for the World Cup.
When it's coming out, right? The World Cup.
Couple week or two.
Oh wow.
No, yeah. I was like, it was like it's either later this year or early next year. So yeah, wow, coming up real quick. Well, there we go. We'll have something to talk about. I'm rewatching Ted Lasso right now, so I'm getting.
Oh,
acclimated.
nice.
Yeah.
I watched
I'm
the
just
dart
waiting
scene
for
last
the-
night
for
just
the
because I
new one
wanted
to
to feel
come.
good.
What'd you
What
say,
were you
Matt?
watching?
I watched the dart scene from Ted Lasso.
Oh, the dart scene. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wanted to feel happy.
Yeah.
It made me feel happy.
Yeah. Yeah. I just watched episode 2 and Rebecca's like freaking out because she can't figure out the biscuits where they're from.
Oh, right.
Just like you forget so many of the little things. But
Yeah.
such a great series.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah. We've had a lot of success with Apple TV shows. Ted Lasso, Acapulco, that's got new episodes right now. That is hilarious.
What's it called?
Acapulco.
Is there an L?
Pulco. Yeah,
Acapulco?
that's what I said. Acapulco.
Okay, I can't hear the L. Okay, all right.
It sounds like you're saying Acapulco.
All right. See, I didn't hear poop. I heard just puco. I heard like Acapulco,
No.
which sounds fun.
Acapulco.
Yeah.
Isn't that like a place in Mexico or something?
Yep.
Yeah.
Very trashy place, according to our nanny Karen, who's from Mexico.
Oh.
But it's about a resort in that city, and it's about a guy who's rich now, telling his nephew about how he got to be rich. And he comes from like a really poor background and everything. There's a lot of Spanish in it too. There's subtitles for folks who don't want to learn Spanish, but it's hilarious. That one's really good. Severance was awesome. You guys should watch that. Use my account to watch that. Scary but really good. What else was on Apple TV? I mean, Stella loves it for Stillwater. All the Charlie Brown, Peanuts stuff.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I feel like there was another really great Apple TV show, but just for the 3 that I mentioned alone, I was like, it's worth
Don't
it.
they had that morning show one?
Mm-hmm.
They had something with Tom Hanks doing something.
Morning show. Yep. Yeah, that was really good. Tom Hanks.
Man,
I don't know. I can't think of it.
borrow a phrase from our favorite politician. We're really low energy tonight. This is not.
Yeah.
This is not a good one.
I was going to mention I ran on the treadmill today, in a shock of all shocks. I'm trying to be better about my health. We'll see if it lasts. But
How far did you run?
I just jogged for like a half an hour while I watched a Bob's Burgers on my computer.
How far did you run?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I didn't actually see. So, but I got my heart rate going. It was exercise, getting some cardio in there. But then, and this is what used to happen to me, Colin, that summer we lived together when we ran. Like, I don't feel more energy afterwards. I like feel like I'm stoned almost, but it's not fun. It's just like I'm just like low energy. I'm just like super super chill, which is kind of nice, But
find another way to get your heart rate up.
yeah, but I don't know. I like this. I like the idea of just being able to hop on the treadmill, throw on a half an hour comedy, run, and then boom, I did some good exercise.
Okay, well, did you run for half an hour or did you run for 23 minutes?
Well, commercials, because Bob's Burgers is on Hulu, so so it was pretty much a half an hour.
Okay.
Yeah. Good question, but that's why I'm low energy. I don't know what your what your excuses are, but that's my excuse.
I'm gonna go with I got super boosted today, so I'm gonna say it's the vaccine.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, that's good. That's a good thing.
So now I'm bivalently protected, even though I think I already got Omicron, but it's okay.
Mm-hmm. And Colin, you have a small child with another one on the way, so that can always be your excuse.
Yeah, I could use that. I mean, it is officially the off season. We have not even talked about that cheating team that
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
won the World Series.
I'm
but
happy for Dusty Baker and Dusty Baker only.
see,
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
not even happy about it anymore. Like now that it happened, I'm just like, fuck it. I don't want Dusty Baker to come close to ever winning another World Series as long as he is managing those Astros. I'm so over it.
Yeah. I'm happy for him though. But yeah, I'm with you. That one's enough. He got his ring, and then now as long as he stays with the Astros, yeah, no. But he got his ring, and I think that's good because Joe Paz has written a bunch about this. I'm sure you've read it, Kyle. Like Dusty Baker's had like a really weird managerial career. Like his teams have done really, really well, like everywhere, and he'll still like get fired after having really good seasons. And just bad luck in the playoffs. I mean, well, bad luck, right? Obviously, his decision making is part of it, and like the '02 World Series and stuff like that. But somebody like that who like has seen so much history in the game and seems to be pretty well beloved, to kind of have had this weird managerial career. It's nice to see him get a ring. But yeah, now he got his ring.
Get
So
his ring as a manager. He's got a ring
yeah, as a
player,
manager,
too.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
There was some stat that he went the longest between winning one as a player to winning one as a manager in baseball history.
Oh wow, okay, that's cool.
I don't know if it was in games played, if it was in years. He won it against the Yankees in '81 with the Dodgers. He was a player on that team.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, I know free agency technically starts tomorrow. I don't anticipate the Judge stuff is going to happen maybe even this year. I don't think it'll drag out like Harper did, but I mean, we might be waiting until January
It'd be interesting
to discuss that one. But Jacob deGrom, Verlander.
I saw a chart. I wish I screenshotted it. All three sports writers in the chart predict the Judge to the Giants.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. I think I might have seen the same thing as you, Matt. Yeah. There's also Correa and Trey Turner. There's some pretty good ones out there. But yeah, I actually was going to ask you guys, what do you think the chances are that Judge re-signs with the Yanks?
50-50.
50-50? Yeah, that's about where I'm at.
Yeah, I would probably agree there about that right now. I read that Cashman said he has not heard from the Yankee camp that they will, from Judge's camp, that they will get an opportunity to match, like or make the last offer. That's what Cashman said at the winter meetings, either today or yesterday.
I mean, yeah. They don't. Judge's camp doesn't know him jack squat, so
yeah.
And I'd be still fuming over the stunt they pulled on opening day. So.
Yeah.
I mean, like we talked about last week, whether you think it was right or wrong, it was probably the right move to make the offer that they did. It was probably a 50-50 call on leaking it. But
they didn't leak it. They announced it at a press conference.
Right. Yeah.
That was not a leak. That was a calculated.
Yeah.
Well, we did
PR move.
Yeah. So that part was then probably wrong, but the offer itself was not wrong. And Judge even said today, I just saw it about 20 minutes before we hopped on. I think it was on MLB Network, and he was like, there were a lot of times this year where I was like, did I make the wrong decision? And obviously friends and family were like, no, it worked out, buddy. You're good. But I think we just forget sometimes that he's a giant and he's great at baseball. So he's not just like us, but in terms of being a human being, he is just another human being,
Yeah.
And it's hard to make decisions like this. And I want the best for him. I don't necessarily know that being with the Yankees is the best for the Yankees or for Aaron Judge, honestly.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I just think that window has kind of closed, unfortunately. That baby bomber era.
Yeah. Did either of you watch 30 Rock?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Every time we talk about leaking it, okay. Now this is a very specific reference. I don't know if you guys remember this. You remember Will Arnett, obviously, who plays Jack's nemesis, right? Alec Baldwin's nemesis. And there's one time where like his character Devin, Will Arnett, pulled some stunt, right, and leaked some sensitive info, and he's like talking to Jack about it, to Alec Baldwin, and he's like, "Oh, did somebody leak it?" Like mocking him, right? And then Alec Baldwin, Jack is like, "You did it. You leaked it." Like really angrily and like really seriously. So every time we talk about like leaking anything, I just think of like, "You did. You leaked it." So that's what goes on in my head this whole time.
I'm surprised Alec Baldwin has not been on Smart List yet. It's probably because of the gun.
On what now?
thing. Smart List.
What's that?
You've never heard of Smart List?
I don't think I have. Matt, you haven't either? Okay, good. I was almost about to feel like a huge idiot.
Will Arnett, Jason Bateman, and Sean Hayes have a podcast.
Oh, you've told us about it, I think. I didn't know that was its name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder why. Yeah, maybe that is it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe they're not actually friends. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Alec is probably laying pretty low.
Yeah. But the thing is like, and as an actor, like, aren't you just taking your props and doing it? Like, it's.
Yeah, but didn't he like, wasn't he not owning it? It's not the right word, but
he was the producer. He was funding it.
Yeah.
And it's a gun still. You never assume, even if it's a prop, it's still got.
So but do you think every actor, like before they start shooting a scene, like they take their gun and they do like a practice shot somewhere?
Well, not a practice shot, but you're supposed to check it.
Okay.
So that's what they were saying, that the protocols weren't followed, whether it was Alec not doing it or someone else not the armorer not doing it.
Okay, somebody didn't follow the
Someone should
protocol.
have checked it. Someone should have opened it and made sure that, hey, these are blanks. Because it's still gunpowder, it still goes boom, there's still energy in there. So
Right.
yeah, the big questions are how did the bullets, how did live rounds get on the set?
Yeah.
And then why was it not checked? Where did the procedure break down?
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, obviously they could just not ask him about that if they had him on the podcast, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oy. Anyways.
all right,
man, this has been a downer tonight, gentlemen. Low energy, political naysaying.
you know
judges
what,
going from the
dude,
Yankees,
that this I was
form boohoos, and Alec Baldwin blasting. I can't think of an alliteration. Baldwin blasting blanks, but they're not blanks.
Bullets.
Blank, yeah, bullets.
I was thinking about this a couple weeks ago. I was like, I should just start titling our episodes with like what's trending so that it'll show up.
Yeah.
So since there was nothing that like really stands out about this episode, like last week when we had you should be on your knees thanking Christ, I think I'm just gonna like find something with Lauren Boebert.
Oh no, I was gonna say like the guys discuss all top 10 Billboard hits from Taylor Swift or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Midnight with Taylor Swift.
Here's as much as I know about Taylor Swift's new album. It's me, and that's it. That's what I know about her new album.
It's more than I know.
What?
Yeah, me too.
More than I know, but that's cool.
That's like one of the songs. It's about
that's
her.
what I figured. Yeah, you did a really good rendition of it, Matt.
Oh yeah,
really
yeah.
good.
Off pitch and everything.
It was awesome.
All right, boys. Any shout outs before we go?
Just to brother Jeremy for hosting me in Burlington this weekend and showing me around Higher Ground, his club, and getting to see some behind the scenes stuff. It was really cool.
Did you get any like behind the scenes meeting? Like, did your brother pull the badass card and be like, "Hey, Dave Simonet, here's my brother Ethan. He plays banjo too." No. Banjo Dave. Sorry.
Yeah, no. Jeremy's super professional about all that stuff. He didn't.
I know.
He didn't want to do any of that. But what was cool is we did go out back after the show when everybody was just like hanging out, having their like post-show cigarettes and chatting and stuff. So I was like standing there with Jeremy and one of his friends, and the guys from Trampled and from Amigos Band were all like 10, 15 feet away from me, just chilling. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, no, nothing beyond
No,
that,
and
which
Jeremy,
I
just
think
to be
is
clear,
good.
I know you're a professional about that, and I know it's like the clubhouse attendant never asking for an autograph, until their last day on the job or something. I got you. I got you, Jeremy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're in the business too.
Yeah. But that's my shout out.
I got the podcat here. I was hoping he'd give you guys a shout out, but he's being pretty quiet.
Come on, Boris.
Meow. Nothing. Ooh, just heard his shoulder pops. I'm gonna
Uh-oh.
let him
Jesus.
go. Sorry.
Yeah, he's
bud.
old. You got to be careful with him now. He's fucking geriatric at this point.
Yeah, this time next week we'll have I'll have taken him to the vet. He'll get his old guy checkup. I've got to start executing my operation. Get Boris into his cat carrier.
Oh boy.
Yeah. See what you do is you put the cat carrier in the bathroom in the shower, and you close the curtain. And then in the morning, when he's all lovey-dovey, like, give me some itches, wake up, you scoop him up, you take him to the bathroom, and you shut the door. And it's like, all right, the only way you're leaving this bathroom, Boris, is in that cat carrier. So we can't like run off and hide somewhere.
Wow, you've got it down to a fucking art now.
Well,
seriously,
you only need to chase your cat around your apartment once before you realize that you got to have some sort of plan. So
I like it.
yeah. Luckily, this time the vet's only 3 minutes away. He does not like car rides.
This is what the people come for. You saved the episode, Matt. This is what they come for. They want tips about how to fucking corral their cats when they need to take them to a vet.
I'm full of them.
Yeah,
you gotta think these things through. It's the sneak attack ambush. Oh, and put some towels in the bottom of the cat carrier because it's either comfortable for him or he's gonna poop on him. So one of the two. Usually he poops on him. A spoiler alert.
Usually he poops on him. I mean, that's a pretty good title for the episode.
Yeah. I like it. Usually he poops. All right, boys.
We did it. Our best episode ever.
Yes. We are not going to a championship game.
We are still ranked and going to New Year's Six Bowl.
You hope.
I do.